Welcome to Maths Babel. In today's video, I'm going to present the concept of sigma notation. Sigma notation is a very important concept in mathematics, especially in statistics, also in calculus, and in other branches of mathematics. So, what is sigma notation? Well, sigma notation involves expressing a sum in terms of the uppercase Greek letter sigma. So we need to see how we can express a sum or condense a summation in terms of the uppercase Greek letter sigma. So this is the letter sigma is denoted as given. So the definition or sigma notation definition. So if we express a sum of, let's say, a's of I from I is equal to 1 to n, this can be expanded as a's of 1 plus a's of 2 plus a's of 3 plus, so we continue with the summation up to a's of n. The lower index of summation is 1. So in this case, we call this the lower index of summation. And n is the upper index of summation. A's of I is what we call our summand. And when we iterate or go through the summation, we end up with the expanded form. Of the summation. Of course, we already defined the sigma as a sum. There are things called properties of summation. Or properties of sigma notation. And these are sort of the rules. These are the rules of sigma notation. So the first rule is the sum of a constant with the index, lower index being 1 and upper index being n. So this gives us c plus c plus c plus, and you're doing this n times. And this should generate the result to be Cn. So if you're summing a number, let's say 1,000 times, then you just multiply that number by 1,000. The second property of sigma notation is what you call the constant multiple rule. C's of A's of I, with the index running from 1 to n. So this involves, of course, factoring out the constant and then expressing a summation. So this is called the constant multiple rule of summation. The third rule is, I will condense this, is the sum and difference rule of summation, or of sigma notation. And this gives us the sum of A's of I from I is equal to 1 to n plus the sum of B's of I from I is equal to 1 to n. So these are very important rules. I'm talking about the sum and difference, so I should include sum and difference to show that this is a condensed formula. In calculus, there are some very important rules that you ought to know. So these are calculus rules. So let me say these are very important calculus rules. These rules can appear also in many other situations, but they tend to form a very important foundation for calculus, especially the branch of calculus called integral calculus, which deals with introducing the concept of integration. So the first rule in this is the sum. Of course, I already gave you this one. It's the sum of the constant from I is equal to 1 to n, and we say this is C of n. The second rule is the sum of I. So if you're summing up numbers, in this case, going through the iteration from I is equal to 1 to n, with the lower index of summation as 1 and upper index of summation as n, then you end up with sort of you're adding 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus, and you continue all the way to n. This is given as n times n plus 1 divided by 2. The next rule is the sum of squares. So here you are summing I square, where I is your index and it runs from 1 through n. So this is 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square all the way to n square. And the result is n times n plus 1 plus 2n plus 1 divided by 6. The last rule is the sum of cubes. If we are summing I cube with the index of summation running from 1 through n, then this should give you 1 cube plus 2 cube plus 3 cube plus, and you continue all the way to n cube, and this should give you n times n plus 1 divided by 2, and you square that. So next time I will discuss how we can use these rules in some very important problems relating to dealing with calculating numbers, summing up numbers, and other things related to that. So look out for our next video. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you did, like, comment, and of course, subscribe to this channel, Math Superville. Thank you.